The company TXQ makes all kinds of amazing lightsabers. They have replicas, they have their own unique designs, and they are just gorgeous. And what they use is their flagship soundboard, the SN Pixel V4. That is a soundboard that has Bluetooth, a micro SD card, and the app ForcePark lets you create tons and tons of effects. Amazing stuff. But what they never had was an RGB soundboard that had micro SD card as well as Bluetooth. Well, now they do, and it's installed in the Saber, so let's check it out. Hello there to all my Jedi and Sith companions. I'm your host, the Frugal Jedi, and thank you for joining me for this unboxing and review of TXQ's TSK-E29 Saber. Now this saber comes directly from TXQ, the TXQ official store from AliExpress, and I'll put a link in the description that'll take you to the store as well as the product page. This particular line, the TSK-E29 series, has three different hilt designs. E29-A, which is the one we're going to look at today, has that antique steel with all the etching on it, and it looks really cool. The E29B has a different grip to it. It has more of a Kestis Survivor grip with a 2-button design. And lastly, E29C is almost the same as A, except rather than a steel, it is a antique gold and black look. After you've chosen the hilt, you have 4 different options for what's inside of it. Premium RGB is 16 sound fonts with flash on class, sensitive smooth swing, blaster, lockup, and the price for that one is $93.60 US. The next step up is Super RGB. So now you have 27 sound fonts, micro SD card, plus Bluetooth. And the price for the Super RGB is $108.55 US. If you want Pixel, now the price goes up a little more, and the SN Pixel V4 is $143.65, and that also has 27 sound fonts, Bluetooth, micro SD, and the lights are built into the blade, so you're going to get all those cool ignition effects or traction effects, and yeah, it's freaking awesome. And lastly, if you want Profi, and Profi I only recommend for advanced users because it is more difficult to program, the Profi edition sells for $211.90 US, and that one has 25 sound fonts installed. TXQ includes fast free shipping, and this saber arrived within a couple of weeks. That was a lot to go over. You've seen all 3 designs of the hilt, and you've seen all 4 configurations that you can get. So now let me show you the E29A with Super RGB. We'll start unboxing. Nice and responsive, sensitive smooth swing, and the volume sounds good. Now having a look at this hilt, this is really nice. It's so comfortable to hold because there's no bumps or anything, or grooves, and you can put your hand anywhere on here and it's just so nice. And if you have a really close look at the etching, there are etched hearts as well as a floral pattern, and at the top looks like a knight's helmet. And this antiquing is really well done. Like, it looks really good. The 3 screws to hold in the blade. I'll give it a few whacks. See how well it holds up. Okay, my hand's starting to hurt. And not a wiggle. So really good. This is going to be one I'll fight with come summertime, believe me. Yeah, two-handed, easy. And I also like what they've done with the button, is they've recessed where the button is, so that when your hand wraps around it, your palm isn't touching the button. I like that. Pommel has a D-ring, and it's removable. I'll take off the grip. And there you can see your micro SD card. There's your battery and your USB-C charging. And you have background music on here as well. Very nice sound quality. Yeah, that's nice. And you have gesture control for switching sound fonts, which is great.
Aayla Secura.
Could you imagine having to use the button and waiting for light flashes through 27 sound fonts? Otherwise, it's...
Depa Billaba.
And then next one. This
is
is way faster. Another cool thing with Super RGB is it will now remember the blade style and the color for each sound font. So with RGB, you have steady, pulse, and unstable. So here's Kylo stable. I'll switch it to unstable. There we go. Now we'll go to the next sound font.
I am the Inquisitor. Tell me, is this training? My training? No. Always training. The universe is.
And now it remembers it's green, and it has this one set to unstable. If you want to know how to completely use the button and gesture controls, this is identical controls to the premium RGB, and I have a tutorial for that, and I'll put the card up right there, and follow that link if you want to learn how to use gesture controls and the button. Now I'm going to swing this around, do some spins, and join me at the table in the end for final thoughts. So easy to spin. It's time for my final thoughts. First, let's talk about value for money. Now you can get this in 4 different configurations. You got the Premium RGB or the Super RGB, the SM Pixel V4 or the Profi. Between the RGB versions, I would totally recommend paying the little extra to get the Super RGB, because you have the 27 sound fonts, you have the micro SD card to add more, the Bluetooth control, and the fact that it can remember colors with sound fonts. So my Yoda is going to be green, my Vader will be red, my Luke will be blue, and so forth. Between the Pixel versions, if I had to choose the SM Pixel V4 or the Profi, most of the time I'm going to recommend SM Pixel V4 because it is so easy to program using the Bluetooth app, and it's just really nice and quick, and I just like it. Profi is a lot more work to program. You have to know what you're doing, and I would not recommend it for a beginner because it is a bit of a pain in the butt to put new sound fonts on Profi. But yes, Profi does have accent swings and gyroscopic sensors for blade effects and stuff. So yeah, it is way more robust, but it's quite the learning curve. And I will have that tutorial for Profi done soon, don't worry. But value for money from TXQSABER official, you're always going to be getting the best price, and value for money is a perfect 5 stars. Next up, let's talk about design. This hilt is beautiful. I absolutely adore it. The antiquing looks great, and the etching, the way that those 3 screws hold in this blade, like it will just not move. So fantastic. D-ring looks great. If you want to cosplay this and wear it on your belt, without the blade, please. There was a couple of small things with design. I did have to use a rubber O-ring to get the pattern to line up perfectly. And that's an easy fix, no big deal. Second thing for design is the micro SD card facing downward. It's hard to pull out because it wants to go inside the core. I would have loved it if they had it facing sideways so you can just pull it out this way. So that's another small issue there for design. Other than those 2 little things though, it is a wonderful design and I love it, yeah. So it's going to be getting a high score of a 4.5 out of 5 for design. Now let's talk about the features of this Super RGB. So you have the 27 sound fonts included. You can add more because there's a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. You have background music, flash on clash, lockup, blaster. You have 3 blade styles, your steady, your pulse, your unstable. So it does have a lot. The Bluetooth functionality, I wish they would have allowed to create your own blade style. Now I know that's kind of silly on RGB because you really can't do a whole lot, but there are still things that you could do. So for instance, Ghost Blade, that can be done on RGB. Or how about an unstable blade where it goes from one color to another, right? Like that could be done. So I could have it red and then flashing to like an orange, so it just kind of gives it like a fire effect. But instead, they disable all the tabs that let you create new effects. So that's disappointing. That, however, can be changed with future firmware updates. And I'm hoping they'll listen and allow us to do that, because that would be really cool. Otherwise, though, it does have a lot of features. And features, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And the last category is quality. This is machined perfectly, except for the fact that it doesn't line up exactly right. But in terms of etching and there's no sharp edges on it. The way they antiqued it, quality of the sound is phenomenal. And the quality of the blade, like I've been banging this thing like crazy, showing you. And yeah, this is a fighting sword for sure. Quality, perfect, 5 stars. So the Super RGB Saber with this particular hilt design is getting an overall score of 4.6 out of 5. I recommend it. I'm going to be keeping this one. It's not going to go anywhere. My wife really likes the floral design. And yeah, worthy to be added into your collection. That wraps up another unboxing and review. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them into the comments section. I'll answer you as quickly as I can. Also, don't forget, please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. and hit that bell so you can stay notified whenever I release a new video. Until next time, I have been your host, The Frugal Jedi. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.